Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. Hope you had a great weekend in spite of all. And by that, I mean what's going on in America. President Trump, no more president-elect, President Trump, he's put out this policy. He signed this executive order. Suddenly, quite frankly, there's confusion, there's anger all over the place, all over the world almost, because he would like to ban Muslims, well, Muslim majority countries, you know, visitors from Muslim majority countries, 7 of them, he would like to ban them from just easy access to access and entry to the U.S. This has worried people around the world because of the reasons you know. You know, America is a nation built on immigration. Even Trump himself, he didn't originate from there. About the only indigenous Americans are the native Indians, so-called Red Indians, according to cowboy movies. So there's that whole problem there. Does it concern us? Well, I think if you were to look at the social media, it does. So much so that people are now advising themselves on social media, if they're over in America, that it might not be the best of times to travel out of America. Doesn't matter whether you have a green card, doesn't matter whether you have a passport, doesn't matter whether you have this, that, and that, because people who do have those things, over the weekend, I understand, were shocked when, in spite of their green card, which will be explained to us what exactly that green card is, in spite of that, they were still not allowed free access to the U.S. Okay, to look at the diplomatic angle, if there's an international diplomacy aspect to this whole thing, Professor Charles Dokubo is in the house. Thank you very much for coming on, Prof. Professor is head Defense and Strategy, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. And our brother Chukwemeka Eze, is a lawyer, is a chartered accountant, public affairs analyst, taxation expert. Maybe it's the lawyer one and the public affairs analyst that we'll be looking at today.
I disown chartered accountant.
Oh, you disown chartered accountant, strike chartered accountant. It's because you are an expert in taxation that people just slam, that they just slam that one. Prof, Trump is causing a furore. Maybe we could look at it generally and then narrow it down to Nigeria. We are not affected. We are not among the 7 Muslim majority countries. But are you surprised? Because all Americans are, the international media is, they just stop short of uncharitably calling him a madman.
Also, you know, we should also be careful about reacting so soon to these issues that are arising in America. This was a man, during his campaign, made promises about, making America first, making America second, first, making America first, everything, and that he's going to build walls, Mexico, and all that.
And Mexico will pay for it?
Pay for it. So he said all those things. But we also...
And he's trying to pursue them?
What we are saying is that rhetoric is different from real politics. When you come down to sit down and look at the things that you're supposed to do as a president, at that time, reality will dawn on you. That most of these things, yes, you've said it to win elections, but you cannot practicalize it.
Okay.
He has attempted to do Obamacare. Obamacare, I thought that would be removed, everything would be removed about it. But it was not like that, because there are a lot of people that still benefiting from Obamacare. He might amend it to his, and he also, you must understand that it was through an executive decree that it was passed. It didn't go through the houses, both houses.
What the Americans call an executive order.
Executive order. That's what he signed. So he can also undo those things that were done by executive orders. But if you look at those that have been passed by law, gone through both houses, it will be an uphill task for him, because he will still go back to the house.
Yes.
And although we can say that he has a majority in both houses, when it's not on all issues that members of Congress vote together on party lines. There are issues that some of them will not, especially bread and butter social issues, that they will go even against their party. We have seen it occur.
Okay, this is not the first time around.
Yes.
Okay, Emeka, this the situation we have on our hands now, President Trump, the one thing that is showing through, I think, even someone like me can say that, is that the man doesn't have any experience in international diplomacy, political diplomatics, and things that are not really said. He seems to be basing everything on his art of the deal and how to go about it, and all of that. Do you also see the way Prof sees that all of this is not going to last very long?
I don't think so, because you recall that the Pope has warned over the rise of populism in Europe and America. This thing didn't start today. We have had over the years what we call the far right. And the far right, true to character, Trump is demonstrating what they have been saying. The citizenry have been ignoring them. But with the rise of terrorism, the citizenry are taking them serious. They've never had situations that you just stay in your country, somebody will come from outside the country and bomb you. I know that, or we know that some Americans bomb America through mass shooting.
Even there's Timothy McVeigh, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, but when
those homegrown terrorists.
Yes, and we've had over the years homegrown terrorism in America, but they have a way of suppressing them. But there is no way you'll be comfortable for outsiders to come and be terrorizing you in your own country. It brings a different dynamism in thinking. So that has given rise to populism. So it isn't that they just woke up and Trump is the voice of the people who are against globalization. They don't want factories to be shutting down in the United States, whereas you'll be pushing the money into a third world country, fighting wars there, protecting their people, whereas some Americans will be suffering. So however we look at the ideas, it has been rising not only in America, it's rising in France, in so many other countries.
As you must have seen, yes, there's been a resurgence in France with Le Pen.
Yes.
Suddenly he's all over the news again.
With that, you should not write off what is happening. The only thing is that, one, the international media is one directional. You recall during the election, everybody, including me, gave it to Clinton. But you can see what happened. That's to tell you, my joy is that what the man said, for the first time, he refused to behave like the ordinary politician. He's doing what he said, because politicians know how to break promises.
Okay.
For the first time, you have such a person who is trying to keep to his promises.
Exactly. And Prof, Trump is not a politician. And that links back to the earlier remark I made. He hasn't had to concern himself with being politically correct. There's certain language. A diplomat never really says outright no. He can use a whole 2 paragraphs to say that word without mentioning the word no. All those kind of niceties, which people will come and spend time here analyzing what it actually meant. Now the man is saying, I don't want Muslims. Go back to your country. We'll behave like Muslims in a Muslim country. Don't come here and be demanding rights as some. We are not Muslims. We are Americans. It's a Christian nation. And I think well, what has warmed him to the heart of Christian Nigerians is the man saying that no homosexuality in America. He's demonstrated that he's against it, virtually undoing everything that has come before him. Are we set for a different era when you have a non-political president in office in the most powerful country in the world?
A person who terms himself to be non-political, the political institutions will change him, and will have to adapt to the demands of the political system. Because whatever you say, America is great and all that, it's the greatest country, whatever you can talk, but the Chinese are there. Definitely. If you try to behave in such a way that you want to be dictatorial to the international community, there are other nations that see themselves as co-equal to you. And that also, in terms of globalization that he has mentioned, if he wants to make America an island unto himself, definitely those who are supporting him will also turn against him. Because economics, building industries is also based on your profit margins. If you can get cheap work outside in Mexico, building and then make profit for yourself, which he is a businessman, he has done before. Look, a time will come, and then we are going to see how Trump will not be able to all what he has unleashed.
Okay.
Because even now at the UN, his representative saying that they are going to mark any country that votes.
We're taking names.
These are non. These are non. They don't understand the working of the system.
Okay, I've got to come back, Prof. Right after this break. Don't go anywhere, please. There is consternation around the world. As I said earlier, at least initially, we are reading of, green card holders, people who had the right to walk into America and live and work there. They are caught in the air. Some of them, secure border guards, not all of them were even aware. Such was the speed with which he sort of executed this particular promise. They weren't even aware that there was a new sheriff in town. We hear about people being detained for 48 hours, and as I said, at least I've been reading some of them, some Nigerian Americans over there advising themselves to, if they can possibly shelve any travel, just shelve it for now, because having all the wherewithal to live and work and stay in America, it doesn't mean that you won't be messed with when you try to get in. So err on the side of caution and just sit tight. Emeka, President Trump is saying the kind of things that I imagine a lot of people would have wanted to say but just didn't have the guts. Now President Trump arrives. He's never come through the political system, never come through the public service system. He's been his own man all his life, used to calling it the way he calls it, and has been as successful as he has been. And he's trying to run a country like that. And so he's saying things that no politician would ever have said in quite the way he's saying it. He slapped, I think, has he slapped or threatened to slap a 20% tax on Mexico? They have said that you do that, we slap every good coming into us from you, we'll slap it. Things like very vexatious things like, not only am I building this wall in Mexico, Mexico is gonna pay for it. Trying to humiliate Mexico publicly.
I think the difference between Trump and many leaders is that Trump says it as it is, because I know the Turkish leader is doing close to what Trump is doing in his country in various ways. He wanted executive presidency. Now he pulled it different ways. When it became difficult with the coup, he has now gotten what he wanted. The parliament has voted, and they want to go for a referendum. So many leaders will not come out to say some of these things openly, but they will implement it gradually.
So the difference with Trump is that he is saying those unmentionable things.
That is it. And there's something you say that it is unpresidential. Mm-hmm. So there is culture, like the Queen of England cannot come out and begin to buy something on the road by herself.
Trump is not encumbered by all of that.
So but you recall, he challenged Washington. When he started his campaign, nobody gave him, or majority of the people refused to give him a chance of victory. And he said that he was going to fight Washington. What does Washington represent? Washington represents bourgeoisie. They represent large government. They represent too much talk and less action. They represent trying to settle the world so that they will say America is a good country, why many people in America don't have jobs. This man decided on his own, and the
because
people,
his heritage is business.
And the people, see, this thing is not issue of business.
But he's a businessman, so he's thinking in those terms.
The people want a businessman. So democracy can turn. Look at what has happened in Gambia. Did the ECOWAS refuse to support Adama Barrow because he had never held public office? Because he was a state developer? So please, what somebody had been is not an issue. Because Adama Barrow, nobody is shouting now. He was a businessman. He was a state developer. He cannot rule. The thing is that we should leave Americans to decide for their country. It is, I mean, this political correctness, people all over the world are analyzing. I thank God that when it comes to this diplomacy, it thrives on reciprocity. So if they are treating you this way, you reciprocate instead of continuous lamentation.
Reciprocate. Okay,
yes.
I hear you.
Fire for fire.
The man has said things that people didn't expect a president would say openly. The man said he supports torture, but then concedes by saying, okay, but this is my Secretary of Defense.
When he said that,
I will allow him to take the decision.
When he said that, he did not know the position the Secretary of Defense will take. You can say all these things. Washington has an institution. You have the foreign policy institution. You have the security institution. You cannot on your own drive those institutions.
Okay. Because
there are set rules there. Initially, he said NATO was obsolete. South Korea can have their nuclear bomb. He has taken office. Let him say those things.
But in fact, thank you for going there, Prof, because as Theresa May was in the US, and she did what she did. Remember where she was trying to get confirmation from Trump, if you watch the press conference, that, you know, you did say you fully support NATO, right? Trump never answered, yeah, sure, we did. He never answered that. Back home, Theresa May's people are saying that, what was all that groveling about?
No, because you see, she had to grovel.
She wanted something.
In the sense that, look, they've also dissociated themselves from Europe. The European defense and foreign policy establishment they are setting up as a purely European thing, totally different from NATO. She doesn't want to be part of it. The British entry to Europe was the most difficult entry that the other Europeans have seen. For Churchill, he said that their interest is more with the Commonwealth than with Europe. Tony Benn said, how can we be part of the people that they don't even understand what we speak? Why can't we invest in the Commonwealth? So definitely they have their trade prong, the Commonwealth, the United States, and themselves. So what we are saying is that they've realized the movement of things in then Europe to be out of Europe will not be good for Britain. So they join. Now they've moved out. But they cannot totally extricate themselves because they also need Europe. So any country that says that you can do without, I've never seen that country before.
Okay. Prof, explain a bit, if you will, about this whole reciprocity in diplomacy that Trump has spoken about. Reportedly, he's asked his guys to check the reciprocity book,
yes,
and find out those countries that are out of step with us in terms of reciprocity. And he just said, he said no more than that.
No, but what I'm saying is this.
Now, I found out that, well, not that I found out, it's all over the press that America has this 2-year multiple entry visa thing.
Yes.
I hear that the Nigerian answer to that, Nigeria is not going to give you more than 1 year multiple vet. So between the 2 years and the 1 year, you can expect him, the way he's been carrying on, to say, fine, cut it down to 1 year too for Nigerians.
What difference does it make? We have made our own decisions ourselves. That's what our country wanted. We wanted only 1 year. And if that is what we are standing by, what makes it different? Reciprocity in any way is that there is no leadership without responsibility. If America sees itself as the leader of the world, and then you want to cut and shop on all these places, it's not easy to be a leader again. Then there are others who want to take leadership from you anyway, who are more economically strong now, that without them you cannot do anything.
Okay.
During the crisis, the financial crisis in America, bet for Chinese money, America would not have been talking this way.
Trump doesn't seem to be taking all this into consideration.
No,
and that goes back to what you said.
He has not gone to the, at once he will follow a policy, then later you see the signpost there. You cannot go beyond this. You can talk about your rhetoric.
Okay, are you sure that's what will happen, Prof? Because the idea I was going to suggest is that, is it impossible to conceive that the president, the leader, he leads and says, this is my leaning, this is my thinking, and then let the system sort of coalesce to sort of support that leaning?
The system said, we have this thing here since you are here. If you want to change some of the, But there are basic facts in foreign policy, American foreign policy, and American
guiding
position.
Principles
Guiding principles.
that
So
you cannot wish
at
away.
once you go. In fact, before, when he was a candidate, when he was a candidate, generals that the interview said, "Can you take command from him?" They said no.
That's right.
They said so.
Even one Secret Service woman said, "I won't take a bullet for this for President
because
Trump."
the fact is that, you know,
that woman, I think, is on suspension now. Not understandably.
Yes, you talked about intelligence that you don't accept, and then these are people who are going to work with you. There is a lot of minefields waiting for him.
And it's all, yeah.
With what happened during the election, I'm not taking everything the international media tells me about Trump. The man is not mad. And we think we know.
And by the way, sorry, since you brought the international media in, I noticed, that's just my perception, that the international media is not cutting him any slack at all. You need to listen to CNN now, and even though they go out of their way to say, well, President Trump, but you can see that it's a very painful process for them. Let me go to this break, and then I'll come back to you so you have all the time you need. Stay with us, please, and then we'll include your calls when we get back. Welcome back. President Trump in office, a new sheriff in town, and by all accounts, it's not business as usual. But Professor Dokubo is in the house, and here I said that can we just be patient and watch all of this and see how it plays out, that there's a system in place that it doesn't matter who, in time you will have to conform. Now, Emeka, not very many people, apart from those who voted for him, are happy with Trump. Even within America, you saw the second day, the whole rally against him. The state of New York has said that it will not comply with all these matters of lesbians and, you know, the illegal. I don't know if it can now undo gay marriages that have happened. So there's a whole world of opinion against him, but he is the commander-in-chief, the president and commander-in-chief of America.
His approval rate, as at the last time I read, is 36%. But we had these poor rates against him before the election. So that's why I'm a bit confused. Now, America is a federation. Sorry, sir.
Yes. Where does Trump hope to get his support from?
Trump, the same people that voted for him, they had a retreat last week. The Republicans in the Congress and in the Senate. And they did not disown him. When he was signing the executive order against Obamacare, I saw people across the board in the Republican Party. So I think the speed with which Trump is taking some of the actions he's taking is baffling.
Because with important decisions...
Let's not think that a country of not less than 300 million people, if 10 million people protest, you would think the whole world have protested. If 10 million people, and I know up to 10 million have not protested,
yes, out
of the 300 million. So, assuming, for purposes of this discussion, that 120 million are against him, he still has the support of 180 million. There is what we call silent majority.
That's a problem there. Prof, how should we Nigerians view Trump? So far, not very much has concerned us directly the way it is concerning, for instance, the 7 Muslim majority countries that we're talking about.
Sometimes, we overreact to situations that are yet to be clear. As far as I'm concerned, what Nigeria needs is to keep his house in order. Make sure that, we have a position in whatever we want to do with Trump. Because definitely he will work with us. Whatever he says...
He has to work with us.
Whatever he says, he will work with us. There are institutions that have been set up, like the Trans-Saharan Anti-Terrorist Network and all that. If he's worried about his Muslims coming to his country to destroy his country or to attack his country, there are ways of handling it which you alone as a country can never do. No country in the world can contain terror. That's why you have all these sorts of organizations at counter-terrorism at different levels, as a nation, in the region, and also at the UN. You have it to deal with it. So no nation on its own can deal with it. Because if you're talking about barring Muslim majority countries, there are people who are already Americans. They are from those countries. They're from those countries. And that you can say, if I cut them off, not coming that terrorism cannot take place. Terrorism do network. People plan something in Saudi Arabia, takes a plane in America to hit the World Trade Center and all that. It was not done in one country. So we know how, he knows how the assistant, the intelligence operation, they'll tell him that's how it works.
In fact, he has begun to sort of mend fences with the intelligence community to the
and
extent
I
that
want
it is
to
possible.
okay, why is it that Saudi Arabia is not on that list?
How can they call Saudi Arabia?
Wait, is there any country more Islamic than Saudi Arabia? Because we keep saying it's just based on Muslim majority. Which country in the world has Muslim majority more than Indonesia? That has 200 million Muslims. Pakistan, why is it not on the list? Despite the level of terrorism, anti-terrorist activity going on in Pakistan. Why is Afghanistan not on the list? So, you see, that's what I'm telling you about this international dimension.
That Trump sort of knows what he's doing.
Some people paint a picture and sell it.
Yeah.
And almost every person tries to buy it in their perspective. And everybody continues to mount it in that perspective.
In fact, the problem,
we need to come out from that.
Okay, the problem with trying to understand what or who particularly President Trump is now is that for most of us, you're going to get that impression from the press. And the man is busy fighting the press, calling them the most evil people that God ever created. That's another story. Mr. George, good morning, sir. Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Morning to your panelists.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, you remember I called when you were discussing this subject at the time Trump was elected. As America has entered what we call one chance here.
How is it?
no one can eat his cake and still have it. You say you are the leader of the world, and at the same time, you are saying that everything you know is America. That's contradictory. Like the professor said, there are other countries that are standing by that were already, at par with America in terms of economic strength, that are ready to take over the world leadership. So you just leave Trump and his rhetoric. You see campaigning. I don't think he has started governance. Have you heard, Uncle Yori, that last week, the state of California, which is equal to the size of Nigeria in America, has decided to go their own way. They have started the process to secede from America. Because the other gentleman there, Mr.
Eze,
was saying that he has support. Where is the support? Hillary Clinton got 3.3 million votes more than Trump. That is to say, he's not supported by the majority of Americans. The fact that you got electoral votes doesn't make you the popular candidate. So time will tell, like I said, realignment and all this his rhetoric he thought could work will make America become the laughing stock of the world. Time will tell.
All right, then.
You will see.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. The things that President Trump said when he was a candidate, as Mr. George said, and a lot of people have said, the man still seems to be campaigning. And I don't know how serious those things are. You're going to build a wall to keep people out. How can you do that? The joke has been made that build a 100-foot wall, and those that want to come in will bring a 101-foot ladder. And so how well thought through. I'm going to put tax on goods from Mexico. The Mexicans have said, you're welcome, we'll put it on it too. And so it goes on, and he doesn't have the well, the press is trying their best to do their job, but he himself is saying that the most evil people that God ever created, they never report a thing straight, and in short, they're painting him wrongly. So you don't really know him. Now we have a president who tweets directly to the people.
Making policy statement from tweets.
From Twitter.
No, you can just understand that I think he has still not come down to earth to look at the enormity of the work he has at hand. And then from the way he is, he's not very good at delegating. Because if he had hired some good ones who understand the Washington system, they can still absorb it.
Okay.
And then he could have what I call a plausible deniability. I didn't say it was said by mine.
He's left no room for himself.
So the fact is that it is just clear what he's saying is what he is.
And he seems to be a person who wants to be seen as leading from the front.
I hope he will. And then when the bullet comes also, he will also. Because, you know, most of the people...
The metaphoric bullet.
Most of the people that he has picked also, we are talking about ethics problem without a lot of answers.
There you go. Especially with the billionaires.
So he's going to face problem. I hope.
Somebody said.
I hope he's not going to be impeached.
Well, that's one thing.
Yes, somebody said that. He will be impeached soon.
Very soon.
But I just want us to realize that the world is in a state of flux. We are not in normal times. Did we have ISIS some years ago? Do you want to solve a problem of that magnitude with a normal person? We are not in normal times. We are approaching the apocalypse. Things
as bad as that?
Yes, things are bad as that. Where people are lined up and their necks are being cut off. Barbarism in the modern world, and governments will just be watching. And you think a madman will not come from somewhere, madman in quote, to take steps that will bring that thing to a stop?
Mr. Adedoyin, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen in the house.
Thank you.
Yeah, I caught some time ago that America has done, they have made a mistake of their life. You see, the advent of Trump coming to power is going to be a disaster, number one. It's going to open an avenue for other countries like China to be the world leaders. It's the promise of God. Nobody can monopolize power. You understand? I think it's high time to get the power from them. You can't eat your cake and have it. You want to be a leader, and you want interest of America to come first. Where does it happen? How does it go? I don't know. I believe if it did not get all these house in order, try and get all these policies that is discard all the policies that he feels can project the interest of America. Man, they are him for two. That's just it.
Thank you very much for calling.
Please, let me chip this thing
Sure.
in. Let me tell you, China is pursuing a similar policy like Trump. It is the bravado that Trump has brought into the way he's doing his things. China has
especially in
colonized the whole Southeast Pacific Sea.
Africa, uncle.
Where Japan, no, I'm not talking about voluntariness. China forcefully took over a portion of the international sea space.
Okay.
And they are building all manner of war chests there. And the world is watching. See, you need a madman because diplomacy. Obama did everything. He could not stop China from what it is doing in the South China Sea. Japan is threatened. Philippines is threatened. Vietnam is threatened. And so many other countries.
Even North Korea is there being the problem.
So I'm just trying to, because we can use this forum just to trounce Trump, say all the bad things about Trump. But the listeners also, the viewers also, have the privilege of knowing what is happening that has thrown up Trump, somebody like him. What is happening in the South China Sea, you need somebody that can look China in the face and say, gentlemen, what are you doing? What you are doing in this place? We know, because China is not ready to listen to anybody. And with the mood Trump has come, he will be able to speak to them Even if they don't listen, but they will know that somebody has spoken.
Okay, let me,
I know Prof, on this South
please,
China.
Prof, so that you won't be interrupted, I've got to go to a quick break, and as soon as I come back, I'll come straight to you.
Okay. Then.
Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back, and while we were on break, a call came in from Maiduguri. Good morning, sir. Adamawa, I beg your pardon. Adamawa. Hello, Mr. Scholar.
Good morning, yes, I am.
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I'm on the same page with the man wearing suit. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're on the same page with?
The same page with the man wearing suit.
Okay, Mr. Eze.
Yes. When things get worse like this, it needs radical approach, just like Trump is doing. After all, nothing good comes easy. The world is in a midst of crisis. Radical approaches to this issue should be done. By the end, he is done with, everybody will applaud him. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scholar, for calling in. Prof, you wanted to weigh in on the...
You know, about the South
yes.
China Sea, you know, what Japan or what the Chinese people are doing is that they are trying to, we have what they call the strategy of the Pearl strategy. In most entry to where you have sea, they set up relationships, build harbors, build naval bases. It has happened. Even as to Africa, what they are doing that they want to have access to the sea. It's not a new strategy. The fact is that they want, like the Indians said that the Indian Ocean is theirs because there is no other nation that was called after an ocean, the name has been given to an ocean apart from India. While the Chinese also say that because it is called Indian Ocean, does not give you the preserve to own that place. You have rights of navigation. Americans Obama has mentioned it. That is, in fact, the World Court ruled against China. So these are the instruments you are going to use to deal with any person that errs in the international system.
And you can't change the international order single-handedly.
Gunboat diplomacy to that place? Will he do that? Is he ready to spill American blood, and then the body will be brought back in body bags and all that?
And just that phrase you made there, that reminds me of another concern, that this is a man who now has the power to sign American people
yes.
to go and engage that might end up in their losing their lives.
Yes.
And this is scaring everybody. Yemi, thank you very much for holding on. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yes. I think going forward, we really need to know the challenges. Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. Going forward, we really need to understand that Mr. Trump is going to be confronted with a lot of challenges. At present, he has a legitimacy issue. And whatever is happening now, I think is what we call in local parlance as IGG, initial gra-gra. like Professor said, the reality on ground do not support a Trump going haywire, even if he wanted to do so. There is no way America can single-handedly confront China and North Korea without the backing of NATO. Now, some of the policies of Trump appear populist, some of the statements appear populist. But in reality, like Professor said, there are institutional checks. Don't forget, America is a democracy, and there is separation of powers. But right now, people are condoning Trump because of respect for that office. But at a point, I foresee Trump desecrating the office of the President of the United States of America and embarrassing the United States. And at that point, you will see the institutional safeguards that are already entrenched in the United States that will put Trump, where he belongs.
Thank you very much for calling in, Yemi. Well, that's a thought for you again, because nobody has seen, I don't think, any president like this in the West. Okay, we had our own Idi Amin in Africa. And
you're talking about the West, not Africa.
Yeah, we're talking about the West. Well, what I'm saying is that nobody has seen a president like that, like the way Trump is. But Prof has said it, and that's what Yemi is saying, that, look, the system is much more robust.
No, with due respect, I agree with Yemi. But just like this other travel ban, a court in New York has said those that have come with genuine visas, you can't stop them.
Yes.
You cannot approbate and reprobate.
That's right.
And this order was obtained on a Saturday evening. That's to tell you that the system is strong. And that's what Obama came here to tell us, that we need to build strong institutions that can withstand people like this. Yes.
Okay. John is on the line.
All right.
Good morning, John from Taraba.
Good morning, Mr. Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
I just want to contribute on this topic.
Sure.
I just like one listener said, I am seriously on the same page with Mr. Eze. I don't know why the world is so much talking hard on Trump. Trump, after all, is not the first president there that will even sign a treaty for America to go into war, that people are being killed there. Trump, as at now, contrary to what Yemi has said, in fact, Trump is the appropriate president for the United States of America for now, whether the world likes it or not.
Why do you say that?
The recent past Obama has dragged America into difficulties of different types. So I think we should give Trump a chance to do, whether he is a businessman, whether he's a technocrat, it doesn't really matter. What it matters is he has America at heart. And Mr. Yori, you will not sit down in your house because you want to take care of another country or another person's house and allow your house to be desiccated. You have to take care of your home first. So America is a big nation, whether we like it or not, and America will continue to be a big nation. God has ordained Trump at this time to take care of the America and even the world at large. Thank you. I think we should not be too much sentimental about the issue of Trump. Trump is an American president, he's a war president, and I gave my thumb up for him. God will actually guide him. Thank you, Mr. Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in, John. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
That is it. And I'm telling you.
And there are those who are saying that, by the way, guys, Trump is the president of America, not the president of Nigeria.
Sorry, he's
not the president of Nigeria.
We need to know this. We need to
so why are we all getting our knickers in a twist?
We should not be myopic that history is being rewritten. At a time like this, we should know the time we have found ourselves. A time where somebody will use truck and come to where people are in their thousands and just begin to crush them. And you don't think these things have their consequences.
Okay, but Prof, the point about the level of interest of Nigerians, if not Nigeria, in the Trump ascendancy, there are those who have said that, wait a minute, he's the president of the U.S., not Nigeria. Why are we all getting our knickers in a twist?
I'm looking at it from an academic perspective.
Sure.
I'm not talking about what it portends for Nigeria, because I believe that he cannot tell Nigeria what to do. This is our country. Our relationship with America, it depends on agreements that we've signed. If they say that we cannot come into their country, they cannot come into our house also. Okay. We can also, reciprocity, they said.
Okay.
That's what they want to do. We can also do that. The fact is that let us keep our place in such a way that nothing will excite people to go away to that place. If our house is that good, if you make yourself comfortable in your place, then you won't go out to the beer parlor to watch television. If you made the home in such a way that young Nigerians could find job,
that's the rub. That's the rub right there.
We do that, we're not worried about if you want to go to America, you have your requirement for visa. They'll give you the visa.
Okay, let me bring Christopher in from Sule. I think Christopher's about the last caller. Good morning, Christopher.
Yeah, Chief Yori, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Prof, morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Eze, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I told you sometime, whenever I see you, my mind goes to the Attorney General of this country. And I pray you will be there in Jesus' name. Whenever I see you, I want
you have to be a lawyer first to be an Attorney General. But jokes apart, please, your comments on Trump.
Okay, good. I think I will go with the last caller, the guy that called last, and I will go with Chief Eze, Kwemeka Eze. I listened to the president, you know, the day of inauguration. Did you listen to his speech?
Yes, I did.
That is a man who has that country at heart. Like Prof, I've been following Prof as well, but for now, Prof, please, let America handle their things their own way. We have our own problem here, please, Prof. I'm in support of you. Thank you very much.
We are not voting now.
Okay, then. Well, thank you very much for calling. This is a matter that we have to talk about. We've run out of time. It's very unusual to see a president, do the kind of things and say the kind of things that Mr. Trump has been saying. But that's the order today, if not the law. It's the order. Prof has said that it may be the order, but the law is still there. The systems are very, very strong. You yourself concede that.
Yes. There are more Trumps on the way.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If terrorism continues, because the West, the Europeans, they didn't accept the far right. They rejected the far right because of their education.
Okay.
But if terrorism continues, they will allow the far right, which will represent more Trumps.
But Prof, you're saying that this turbulence, please, last word, this turbulence.
Terrorism has not started now. A very long time we've got terrorism and terroristic behavior. Dealing with that is not the work of one president.
Okay.
Or one country.
It's going to need cooperation
you
across the board.
You must work with other people. You cannot on your own contain terrorism.
Okay.
No country can do that.
Thank you very much. Professor Charles Dokubo, Head Defense and Strategy, Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, and Barrister Chukwuemeka Eze, Public Affairs Commentator. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Yori Folani. I'll be back tomorrow, God willing, with a fresh edition. Bye-bye for now.